Hello everybody, it is Stefan Joubert from the Stefan Joubert Guitar Academy, and in the video today I'm going to speak to you specifically about the 2-5-1 progression, and we're going to take a look at one of my favorite 2-5-1 licks. We're going to dissect it together and we're just going to look at how it works, and then you can learn that lick yourself and you can add it to your repertoire. If you're a rock and roll player, it's also well worth it for you to watch this video because you can pick up tips and little tricks that you can use in your rock music, often combining, for example, the pentatonic scale along with some tension notes will help you expand your repertoire. So why not take some ideas from jazz and bring it over to your own style? If you love jazz, you're in the right place. Of course, I don't only teach jazz, I teach all sorts of styles, and in my online Zoom lessons, I've got students who's doing classical with me, we're doing jazz, we're doing rock, we're doing blues, we're doing a whole host of different styles. But in this video, we're going to discuss the 2-5-1. So now let's get into it. Let's talk about the 2-5-1. So I think we're going to use the key of C. I know they say that the key of C is a key for music teachers, but I was thinking it's anyway a good key to work with, even though that joke, there may be some truth in that joke. It's just a lot easier for people to understand what is a 2 in the key of C rather than what is a 2 in the key of G flat, although one should work through all the keys. So for the purpose of the instruction in this video, I will speak about the key of C major, and you know, regardless of what anyone may think, the key of C major is not a boring key, it's just an easy reference key. On the guitar, often we do play in A major or E major, but that's another point. So let us take a look at 2-5-1 in C. So you do need to know a little bit of music theory to know how this works, but let's just quickly go over it. The second chord of the C major scale is a D minor type chord. It could be a D minor triad. It could be a D minor seventh. The scale that will go with that, I know this is not modal, this is tonal, but if we analyze it from the point of view, would be a D Dorian scale or D Dorian mode. So the 2 chord in the key of C is going to be a D minor. So if you've got just C major scale, the second note is the D, and it's there that you have the D Dorian scale, and that's going to be our 2 chord. So basically what we're going to have is you're going to have the 2 chord, and usually it's a minor 7 or a minor 9th. In this case I'm playing a D minor 9th, and that then leads to the 5 chord. So let's just take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm playing the C major scale up to the 5th degree. So basically C, D, E, F, G. The 5 chord is also the dominant chord, or where the tritone will be located in the chord. It's usually a G7 chord, and I'll just play a G7 voicing. And we've got the tritone here. The tritone is the one that cries out for resolution back home to the tonic, which is the C major chord. So basically the 5th chord is a type of dominant chord. It could be a G13, it could be a G13 with a 9th, it could be a G9 chord. That's a rootless chord, put the root in there. It could also just be a G7, it could be a G7 sharp 5, it could be a G7 sharp 5 flat 9, it could even have a sharp 9, flat 9 and resolves down. So you've heard a little bit of those chords, but let's just talk about the logic of a 2-5-1. In all the music that you listen to, pop music, classical music, rock music, hip hop, all this music, you have the cycle that's usually tonic, away from the tonic, going to the subdominant, back to the tonic. And that's where you've got the 2-5-1, subdominant type, dominant type, tonic type. 2 could be 4 as well. So you could have an F major, 4, 5, G major to C major. So you could have like a 4, 5, 1. So when you hear this sort of pop music like that's very related to basically the 2-5-1 progression, because that's a 4-5-1. It's just the way music works. But in jazz, we like to keep things moving in fourths, because D going down, just straight down, goes to a G, goes down to a C, straight down on the guitar, The guitar's tuned in fourths. That will be perfect fourth, perfect fourth. From D to G is a perfect fourth. From G to C is a perfect fourth. And then we get a 2-5-1, which is a subdominant. The 2 can be a subdominant. The 4 chord could be a subdominant. Going to the 5, which is the dominant type chord in the classical theory, going to the tonic. Basically, to explain it to you, the subdominant type, which is the 2 chord, has a certain cry for resolution, but it's not that heavy. We are somewhere at that point in music, in the atmosphere. The moment we go to that G, that's where the tension lies, and it wants to resolve. And then sometimes it goes to a 6, where we get tension as well. Goes back to the 2 chord, goes to the 5. That 5 wants to resolve back to the 1. So basically the subdominant doesn't have as much tension. It's away from the tonic, away from the home key. And then that moves to the dominant, where all the tension lies. And from that dominant, we want to resolve it back home, where a familiar place would be like a happy house, or a sunny place, or a place that you like. That's tonic, that's home. Now, let's get to the lick. That's just a bit of a background of the 2-5-1. There's a lot more one can discuss about the 2-5-1, how it works in jazz, how you can use it to move through various keys. In this video, I'm not going to go through all the depths of everything. This is just to give you an overview to the lick. So this is the lick that we're going to learn. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this lick is a 2-5-1 lick in the key of C. Now, it is played in swung quavers or swung eighths. Hence, it's like 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a. That's on the 2 chord, on the D minor 7 or the D minor 9 or the D minor 11. So you've got 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a. Swung eighths, there are 8 notes in that bar. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes on the D minor 7 chord, which is the 2 chord. Then on the 5 chord, we also have 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we resolve it to the 9th, which is the tension on C major 9th or C major 7. So here comes the principle. Whenever you play jazz, or even in rock music, the blues and everything, most of the music that you play will be in 4-time. So when you play blues as well, it will work as well, but jazz especially. When you play a line, you will have 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a. You've got 8 spaces to fulfill. You don't have to play in every space. You could leave gaps, but you have 8 to complete, and then 8 to complete on the next one. And usually on the 1, you just resolve, and then you can play some other licks around it. So that's usually how the construction of the 2-5-1 lick would work. By the way, you can just look in the description below. There's a tablature for this lick, so you can download it, make it your own, and try it out on some famous jazz standards. Use the iReal Pro app to play along. It's going to help you to learn as well. So now I'll play it one more time. It's going to go 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to analyze it with you. What we're going to do is we're going to go to D minor, and we're going to analyze every single degree. So the first things first. The first note is an A. That's a 5th of D. Now, let's talk where we're located. We're located on string group 3-5. When we say 3-5, that's immediately position 4. You need to know your positions, your shapes. So that means we have got a position 4 here with string group 3-5, position 4 for the minor 7th arpeggio. So you've got to know that. That's important to know that. There's a lot of education that you need. Don't fly blind. Get good education. So then, basically, we've got 2 sets of 4 notes that we're going to fulfill. The first set is 5. I'm talking about the perfect 5th against D. Minor 3rd. 2nd or 9th. Root. So we've got... I'm playing that so you can hear how it sounds against that. So So we've got 5th, flat 3, 9th, root, and then on the next set of 4, we have 4 or 11, 9th or 2nd, flat 3, 4. So altogether 5, flat 3, 2nd, root, 4 or 11, 9, flat 3, 11. Outlining a minor 11th chord. That is what we're playing in melodic form. That's the thing, you must understand, it's not just a bunch of notes. So even when you play your pentatonic scale, if the rock player is watching the video, if you play something here, that's a 9th that you land on. You got to know where you land on, you got to know what the tensions are, you got to know what you're doing with things. So you know that that's like a 13th, so there's a minor 13th there. So do know your intervals, because it's important for you to be able to make some great melodies. Okay, next up, we're going to go to the 5 chord, but I'll just play the beginning again. So that's the 2 chord. Then the 5 chord is going to be sharp 9, passing note, flat 9, sharp 9. Essentially, part of the superlocrian mode. The last mode of the melodic minor. Really beautiful mode. So sharp 9, passing note, flat 9, sharp 9. The first 4, I want you to think in structures of 4. This is 4, then we've got another set of 4. Then we've got a root. This is like an arpeggio coming back. Sharp 5, 3rd. Okay, and that's also an augmented triad. Okay, so let's just run that again. Root, sharp 5, 3rd, flat 2 or flat 9, resolving to the 9th of C major. So beautiful that. So let's just take a look at that again in segments of 4. So sharp 9, passing note, flat 9, sharp 9, root, sharp 5, major 3rd, flat 9, resolving to the C major 7. I'll just play the whole arpeggio, so the whole lick one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever you hear a bebop player play something, when you listen to Charlie Parker, they're not just mumbling stuff through that saxophone and they're not just playing all sorts of notes. Remember, they are outlining the actual chords and they're doing chord tones. So that's the chord tone of D minor 7 and they're adding intentions. So that's the important thing. You've got to know that when you play a solo, it doesn't matter what solo you play, you've got to know what are the notes that I'm playing against the underlying harmony. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy the video, share it with friends. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, make a comment, just tell me what you thought of the video, and thank you again for watching this video. Thank you, and may your guitar playing prosper.